Hello everyone, it is the beginning of a new year and it is also the beginning of the first monthly spread in this bullet journal. Lately I've been looking at a lot of impressionistic art from that sort of period of time, and specifically Van Gogh is one of my favorite artists, not just for Starry Night but for a lot of his less known paintings. I wanted to take that inspiration and combine it with another thing which I've been really enjoying lately, which is outer space. As the Artemis missions kick off and the James Webb telescope is showing us these amazing images from space, I wanted to immortalize that excitement in my bullet journal. I'm using Tombow dual brush pens and I'm just sort of letting them hit the paper however they want to hit the paper and just sort of let it feel very organic and flowy. Overall, I'm very satisfied with the results and I think it looks like I maybe put a little bit more effort into it than I actually did. So I think this is a very beginner-friendly cover page. I'm not exactly sure what sort of font I'm using here or how I would describe it, but I'm basically just writing the letters and then going over the downstrokes again and making it sort of seem a little bit funky. In combination with that font, I'm using a very thin, simple cursive font for the calendar portion of this setup, and I'm using 3x3 boxes in case you're curious. I'm always a little bit conflicted on whether or not I should use a big calendar spread because I don't actually refer to them that much throughout the month, but overall they just seem like they're going to be really functional, and occasionally I do use them, so I think they're still a worthy investment of my time. I've been trying to find a balance between how aesthetic something is and how actually functional it is, and what I'm just doing solely for the aestheticness of something. You know, you think of those that girl clean aesthetic, if you will, and how much of that is done for actual lifestyle and how much of that is just done because it looks really nice to put in a clip. And I think sometimes I know definitely just doing something because it looks pretty motivates me, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but I think the real problem is when you're doing something and it has no functional purpose. So yeah, that's something to think about for the new year. One part of this spread that I know I definitely will use is the under the calendar, the this month thing, and I've changed it from goals because this way I can put sort of just tasks that I want to get done, goals that I want to work on, maybe like upcoming events or just anything that is happening this month, as the name would suggest, and it's a little bit less strict of a category. So that's something I am happy that I've changed in my journal. And as I draw this little galaxy, I start with the lightest yellow, then I go over it with sort of an orangey yellow, then the light gray, purpley gray, and then the dark blue, and then I go back through and add some pink touches. And I'm not really sure if you get what it is without knowing what it is, but it still looks nice and I get what it is, so I'm happy. As a high school senior, January has been a very interesting month so far. It's sort of an in-between period. I'm starting to get early acceptances, and yet I'm still submitting applications for other schools, and it sort of just feels like I'm stuck in a waiting period, and yet there's still so much to do. I suppose anyone who has ever been a high school senior will know exactly what I'm talking about. This month I'm attempting to bring back habit trackers, which is something that has not been tremendously successful in the past for me, but I'm giving it another shot this time. Instead of putting my habits in the traditional calendar shape, I'm putting them into a sort of vertical log and separated them by each week so I can sort of visually reset each week. And I think that's a very important thing to think about when you're making your New Year's resolutions, is instead of seeing it as once you break it once, you're done and you might as well just not continue at all, that it's more of a goal that you're working towards. And putting these trackers in a different visual format personally helps me see it as something that I'm working towards instead of a rule that I can't break. I'm not sure if you noticed, but I did not correctly count the number of days in these trackers as I was making them, and so right now you can see me totally going over them and recounting because I totally missed a day. So I just wanted to leave that in there and show that even though this is, being recorded in twice the speed and it looks like it's going very fast, I'm definitely by no means perfect at this, and even though I've been doing it for 2 years, I still make some pretty basic mistakes. Once I'd counted the correct number of days, I started going over each little calendar log with a different color, and I just used 4 colors so that there would be 2 of each color, even though I used 5 colors to draw the galaxies. Just a side note. And overall, I'm pretty happy with how the colors ended up looking, even though it's a little bit hard to distinguish which one is which on camera. On the top for the font, I just used my own handwriting. I didn't really try to make any sort of special distinguished font, and I just wrote habits instead of habit tracker, which is not important but is a detail to tell you. And that is all for this setup, you guys. Hope you have a wonderful January and a nice year. See you soon!